Okay, so welcome to SEINT Makeup, and I couldn't be more excited for you. If you're watching this video, that means that you have ordered your makeup and you're either waiting for it to come in or your makeup has come in, and this is going to show you like back to the basics because either you were attending a party or you were intrigued by this makeup online or on social media, and then now you have your makeup and you're like, I don't know what to do. Don't worry, I got you covered. I was the same way. I was color matched by a SEINT artist virtually through pictures, and the artist that signed me up did the same thing. She had a beginner's video. I had one, you may have seen it. It was back when we were mascara. It's the same product line. We just rebranded a couple months back and now it's SEINT, so I wanted to update it because I also have the new brushes, and we're going to talk about new brushes in just a second. So this is how this whole little shebang works. So your makeup tins, you were color matched by me most likely with 2 highlight colors, and your makeup comes in little tins. And if you haven't gotten yours in, I'm sure it will be coming in soon, and your lid slides off. And I hope you got a compact. Most people do. Most people get a compact. But what you're going to do is, this is magnetic, so you're going to slide your lid off of your tin and you're going to pop it in your compact. Now, the order you put yours in is totally up to you, but I have always gone main highlight. Like you heard me say highlight, or you've heard me say highlight. We refer to our highlights as foundation. Then our brightening highlight, contour, lip and cheek, and a bronzer. I will talk about illuminators, but I'm just going to hit the basics because this is back to the basics. This is like SEINT 101. So you put your tins in your compact, whether you got a double decker, you got just the little 4 quad, whatever you got, you're going to slide your lid off your tin, and you're going to put it in your compact, whatever order. If you want to put yours in the order you're going to put your makeup on, that's totally fine. You figure out how you want yours to go in there, and then we're going to put some makeup on. Okay, so let's put some makeup on. What I'm going to try to do is I'm going to feature as many of the brushes, the new brushes, that I can. You were most likely color matched and recommended the detail brush, the 3D brush, and or the blush bronzer, and possibly even the buff brush. So I'm going to talk about these, and I'm going to use them a little bit differently than you may have seen me use the older brushes in some of my older videos. The brushes are the same, but they're a little different, if that makes sense. So the bristles are a little bit softer. So on this one per se, I used to blend a lot with the blush bronzer brush with the more dense end. But now I'm going to be using the 3D brush. So I'm going to show you basically how to apply your makeup with either this brush or this brush. I'm going to do one side of the face with the other. I'm going to get the overall look, and then I'm going to show you how this brush, how I use it now, and then I will talk about the blend brush as well. We also have a perfector sponge. It comes in this cute little tin. It's like a beauty blender. This is amazing. Like, I have been using the older one. It was pink. The new one is gray. It matches everything else, and I will get to that too. So we are going to put our foundation or our highlight colors on first. And we're going to start with the darker of the highlight. Now, there are so many different ways that you can put this makeup on, but starting out, I'm going to do it this way because I think this is the more comfortable way. If you start with your contour, that's perfectly fine, but the whole purpose of this, is to kind of put the colors where needed, because we're only going to try to wear one layer of makeup. So we're going to start with the detail brush, and we're going to start with our main highlight color, which is the darker of the 2 colors that you received. Okay, so instinct and old habits is going to tell you to swipe and smear, and your brush and your makeup on your face. But we're going to do something a little different. This makeup has a slight learning curve, but I always tell people it's not necessarily how to put it on and where to put it, it's how much. So I'm going to try to demonstrate this. You're going to tap. Now you can tap with some pressure, but you don't want to swipe. If you swipe, you're going to get way too much product. So The key to this is less is more. Start with less because it's buildable coverage, so you can always add more. So you're going to tap. If you have the detail brush, you're going to tap with the larger end. You not swipe, but you're going to tap. Like you can see that I'm tapping. Then you're going to, so your darker highlight color is going to hang out in this area across your nose, kind of like the middle part of your face. Under here, you're going to put your contour under your cheekbone. So you're going to leave this area out, your chin, and then some here. So you're going to be able to see, hang on, I just smeared this. Okay. I smeared my finger in my blush, and I knew if I didn't clean that up, it would be a disaster. All right, so I'm tapping, and I'm not smearing, I'm going to kind of just stipple and place my color. I'm only going to do this half of my face with this brush because I also want to demonstrate this brush because these are the two main brushes that I use and you were probably matched with. So I'm going to kind of go on my nose right here, and your darkest highlight color is the color that is closest to your skin tone, and we're going to blend everything together. So I'm going to leave this area out because we're going to contour, and I'm just going to place this color right now because we're going to come back and blend it. I'm going to leave my under eye out unless you have really textured skin. And when I say textured skin, I mean fine lines and wrinkles. You can put, once you've kind of taken all the product and you've gotten it placed on your skin, like what's left over on your brush, you can kind of put a little here before you go in and put your bright color, because I have textured skin, I have large pores, and I have fine lines and wrinkles. It's hard to see them on camera, but they're there. And if I put too light of a color over my texture, it enhances my texture. So if your makeup is enhancing your texture, that means your color is too light, which is no big deal. We can swap it out. So don't hesitate to let me know if that is, if you do have that problem. So I'm gonna take, and I'm gonna place this up here because I need to get a little bit of coverage. I don't have anything on, I just put some mascara on because my eyelashes don't show up unless I don't have mascara on. All right, so this is main color. So my color is there. I'm gonna leave it because now we're gonna go into our contour color. My main color, just if anybody wants to know, is Mango. I do wear my makeup a little bit darker. I self-tan, so I use Mango. My brightening shade is Sunlit. My contour color is Astoria, which you were probably matched with because I usually go Astoria on most everybody. And then I have Pink Grapefruit as lip and cheek, and then this is Bella Bronzer. All right, so contour, two ways. You can use the small end, or you can use this larger end of this same brush. So same thing with contour. I am tapping, and sometimes your contour, the consistency is a little bit more stiff. In the winter months, your contour may be a little bit harder to get on your brush. You can run a blow dryer lightly over it to melt it, or you can use your finger, and the body heat, like the warmth of your body heat will melt it a little bit, just because the consistency is a little bit more stiff than our highlight colors. So contour, so you're gonna find your cheekbone. So like where your cheekbone runs. Everybody has a cheekbone. Some people's is not pronounced. If you take your finger, you can feel that bevel. And we're gonna come in with our contour. I naturally, let me show you this side, have a little bit of a shadow, so I follow my shadow. If you don't, that's fine. This is what you're gonna do to create that shadow. So you're gonna come in and you're gonna come down. All right, contour is there. Also, you're gonna create a shadow up here on your forehead from your hairline. Now you can swipe a little of your contour or you can stipple, but don't swipe when you go in for product, only tap. So we're gonna create a shadow because this is where we're gonna get our dimension. I like to tie the two together, sometimes with what's left over on my brush, but it's totally up to you. All right, and then you're gonna get that jawline because this is gonna chisel out more dimension in your face. It's like you can already see that just enhances my jawline versus, well, there's a shadow over here. So if you want to think about your contour, you're drawing like the number 3. That's how your contour is going to be placed. We'll talk about contouring the nose later. But if you want to just draw the number 3, then that's how your contour is placed. All right, so I like to go ahead and blend these two colors together and then go in with my lightning shade. So I'm going to take this brush, same brush, the detail brush, and I'm just going to do small little like sweeps kind of. And I'm going over where my mango was, and I'm just kind of pressing it in the skin. And I'm gonna start with this color first because you kind of want to isolate around whatever color before you go to mix everything in. And once my mango is kind of pressed in my skin, also the stippling and like small little sweeps or small circular motions work better when you have textured skin, and the majority of us have textured skin, so that's why I kind of show this technique. All right, once that mango is pressed into my skin, I'm gonna come up here to my contour and I'm gonna go up with it. So you're gonna do little circular motions to blend. Now, I don't have a heavy hand, but I have a little bit of pressure. If you blend really heavily, you will blend your contour completely out. But see, like you can see, I've got dimension from this color to this color, but there's a seamless blend. All right, so when you're blending your contour on the side, you're gonna push it into your cheekbone. And you can come up and blend this up. So you want to always blend your contour up because we're giving ourselves a facelift. And you can blend, your contour can be as bold or as subtle as you want it to be. So like you can see, like I've got a really pronounced cheekbone. If I want to soften that, I'm just gonna blend it a little bit more. Now your jawline contour, you bring it down to your jaw. Now I probably am putting a little bit more makeup on than I normally do, but I want the camera to show, and sometimes the camera eats makeup, so I may not normally wear this much makeup, but no, it looks pretty normal. I had to look in a mirror over here. All right, so that's your contour. It's that easy. All right, so if you have this brush, the detail brush, you can take the small end and dip into your brightening color, and I place in my inner corner, I place my outer corner, and then what's left, I just kind of bring it across, and then I place here in this area. I come down the center of my nose, and then sometimes I'll hit right here. And then I'm just gonna go back in. Now, normally I will take my main highlight and do my eyelids with it, but I really just kind of want to focus on the 3D. All right, and then you're just gonna take this and you're gonna stipple. Now, if for some reason you have a very like deep eye cavity, you can always take your finger and place your makeup with your finger, which I do a lot of times because I have really like, it's really like a deep insert right here. And that is how you do your highlighting and contouring with the detail brush. All right, so I'm gonna use the blush bronzer, and I'm gonna go and swap over to my pink grapefruit, and I'm going to tap. Now, these blushes are very pigmented, so a little goes a long way. Start with less, because you can always add more, or you can blend it out. I like to come down instead of like starting here with my blush. I like to start my blush higher up my cheek, because I feel like it gives my face more of a facelift instead of, I feel like I get rosy and like, I don't know. I just like my blush higher, but you can try yours different ways and see which works best for you. But like you can see that cream blush, it just blends so smoothly with everything else. And then the fluffy end, you can kind of just take it and swirl everything and soften. I'm gonna add a little bit more blush. There we go. All right, that's pink grapefruit. And that's highlighting and contouring. All right, that was the detail brush. Now, I'm gonna swap and do this side of my face with the 3D brush. All right, Same concept, just a different brush. So I'm gonna go start with my main highlight and I'm gonna tap just like I did before. And I'm gonna go in and just place this product. To me, the end of this brush is very comparable to the gold one, the blush and bronzer. Like it has a little bit more density. This brush actually was the first one that I was color matched with. And I actually like it in the new brushes a lot. So I'm just gonna place my main highlight, which is the darker of the two, skipping my contour area. Come up here, put a little bit of color up here. And you're gonna see though, even though I'm using two different brushes, I'm gonna have the same outlook. Like this makeup is so easy and it's foolproof. Like you can't hardly even mess it up, which is why I love it and you're gonna love it too. So, all right, I'm gonna hit a little bit, flip over to this side. Even though this is a big end, like it's pointed, so it's easy. I'm just gonna apply some to my eyelid area. All right, so now I'm gonna go to the pointed end. I'm gonna tap it in my contour. Get some product on that brush, same thing. Find that cheekbone, or if you have a natural shadow, follow it. If you don't, create one. Because that's what's so cool about contour, is we're gonna create dimension in our face, even if it's really not there. And that's what makes this makeup and our makeup look so much better, is when we're not like one color, when we have dimension to our face. Like once you start using this makeup and you see, you're gonna go back and be like, oh my gosh, I was one color with my old makeup. So same thing, you're gonna do a 3 on this side. Come down and you can tie that together. So you have your thing and then your jawline to create like your number 3. It's the easiest way to remember where your contour goes. Add a little bit more here. Okay, all right, I'm gonna flip back to this end and I'm just gonna stipple like I did my main highlight. I'm gonna get it pressed into my skin really good. Kind of little short sweeping strokes or stippling. I'm just gonna go over that main highlight. Once I feel like it's pressed into my skin, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna do my little circular motions with this, and I'm gonna blend the two together. Remember, don't get heavy-handed, but have a little bit of pressure, because you can blend your contour right out. I know I said that a while ago, but it is a reminder. I have a hair hung in my eyelashes. There we go. So you can see it just, and you can always add a little bit more. So if you're blending and you're like, ooh, I blended too much, you can always come back and add a little bit more contour. You can always add some more highlight. It's totally up to you. Same thing with my contour. I'm gonna push it up into my cheekbone. You don't wanna drag it down because you don't wanna get your contour in your smile lines. So you're just gonna work with it until you get it to where you like it. All right, and then same thing on the jawline. If you don't want your contour that bold, you can always blend it softer. It's so hard to stay on one side of the face. Okay, so now I'm gonna go back to the more pointed end. I can't really say smaller end, but this end, and I'm gonna tap it in my brightening color. Same thing. I'm just going to kind of place it there, and I'm gonna place it here, and then I'm gonna swap back over, and I'm going to kind of just bring it to brighten, because that's what we want to do. We want to bring brightness around our eyes. You want to bring some brightening up here. I have texture here, so I can't get too bright. I have pores, I'll get really close, and then I have the wonderful little lines there. But you can add your brightener right here into the center of your forehead. And what the brightening does is it brings the focal point right here. And you can have a really bright under eye, like I'll brighten a little bit more. But like you don't want to get too bright if you have textured skin. So down the center of the nose. And then I'm going to kind of marry that together. What's left over on my brush, kind of hit my Cupid's bow. All right, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take my blush bronzer. I'm gonna tap in Pink Grapefruit and I'm going to apply my blush. And then we will match the other side of the face. So there are so many different ways to put this makeup on. And this may not be the way that you like continue to put your makeup on, which is fine, because the more you play around with this, the more you're going to find your little niche and your little way. All right, so now I'm gonna top with Bella Bronzer because it is my favorite and I recommend it to everybody because I feel like everybody needs Bella Bronzer. So I'm gonna go to the fluffy end and I'm dancing my brush around in my Bella. And what Bella does is Bella gives you that natural sun-kissed look. So wherever the sun hits you, which is normally on our foreheads, this is where Bella Bronzer is going to go. And I feel like it is the perfect finish to every face of makeup. It is a matte bronzer. And then I put it kind of on top of my blush and maybe above my blush. And then I kind of marry my blush, contour, and bronzer like all together. And it just gives you like, I don't know. I just love Bella Bronzer. And I know if you got it, you're going to love it too because it is just absolutely beautiful. If you've never used a cream bronzer or if you've had bad experiences with bronzer, Bella is like the perfect. There's no shimmer, there's no powder, it's just great. And then I like to do this because I self-tan, but I just put tanner on so I actually have color, but nobody's face, neck, and chest is all the same. So if I hadn't had just put tan on, my neck would be a lot more lighter, but I always bring Bella down my neck because this actually ties your makeup and your chest together. And then you don't look like you have this, colored foundation on your skin and then you have this really white neck and then you have like a pink or a red chest or a tan chest. It just kind of ties it all together. So don't be afraid to bring Bella down your neck to just blend it together. Okay, so that is the Easy 3D foundation. And that is using the detail brush, the 3D brush, and then of course I use the blush bronzer brush. Now I'm going to talk about the perfector sponge and the buff brush.